It sound right, boys. Sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
All right. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the digital rally. 24-hour digital rally for the arts. We have here our next MC for the rest of the evening. If you would please introduce yourself, your pronouns, and what it is you do.
Thank you. What's up, everybody? My name is Sinta Storm. I go by she, her, and I am from Madeiran company. I am a traditional Indonesian dance artist right here in South Philly, working within the Indonesian community. So basically what we do, we teach everyone in the community and outside of the community traditional Indonesian dance, from Balinese dance, Javanese dance, and all things like that. And also we provide safe space for anybody to come and express themselves. So anybody are welcome. You don't have to be Indonesian. So that's basically all about me. I just want to say thank you for including me in this digital rally for the arts. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. And then I want to just send shout out to everybody who's working behind the scene on this. You are all rock stars in my book. So we have great program and performances going on until 9 p.m. tonight. So I want you to hang out. There's going to be a bunch of things that you'll be learning, maybe you'll be enjoying, but I think we should be here supporting each other for Philly arts. So I'm just so honored to be included in this. My daytime job actually is working with the Philadelphia Folklore Project and working with communities and folk and traditional arts to support also the social change here, right here in Philadelphia. It's a 30 years old company. So why this is so important to me to be a part of this. So when Gabby contacted me, I thought during the pandemic, everybody turned to the arts, right? Everybody can't really go anywhere. So what do? You go watch movies, you go watch performances, maybe you're hearing some songs, like you're listening to all of this. But at the same time, a lot of people, corporations, government decided that it's a good idea to cut the budget on the arts. Like, we're relying on you during the hard times, but we're not going to give you any more money. Like, what is that? Like, what the hell is that? Like, that is really such an issue, not just here, it's all over the world. Like, even my artist friends in Indonesia, in Java, in Bali, they're all crying to us in the US and saying, like, we just can't do anything. We can't travel. We can't do any of these things that we love. If you're like an extrovert like me, I have to meet people. I have to see people. So things like this kind of digital and virtual events, this is the kind of things that helps me to just kind of get through my day. I can't sit around. I have to like move a little bit, listening to songs. So I hope you all enjoy the dance party right before this. So I was like shaking my booty a little bit. So love it. So I'm not going to be talking all the time. I want to go ahead and introduce you to our very first performer with Tony Mendez from Los Bomberos. So Tony, I know you're here and I know you are joined by your kids, Sean and Isaiah, right? Let's see where Tony is.
Hola, hola. Am I coming in okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. I don't sound like a robot or anything like that, right?
No, this is super exciting. So,
Awesome.
Tony, tell us a little bit what you're going to be doing.
Bueno, definitely. So I'll give you first a little idea of who I am and what I do. My name is Anthony Mendez. Everyone calls me Tony or Mr. Tony in the classes, or my students. I've been doing teaching, educating a lot of students of all ages from all over the Pennsylvania tri-state area of traditional bomba en plena music from Puerto Rico. So this is one of our oldest traditions on the island, has a very huge African influence in this music, and we're kind of teaching that through the programs and the students that we work through Taller Puerto Riqueño. We work with the Man Center. We also had collaborations with the Philadelphia Orchestra, and we have our programs on the weekends, Antonio Pantoja, and the list goes on, right? It's been a great opportunity to be able to share this beautiful music from the island, right? Give Philly a little taste of Puerto Rico. We have a whole bunch of bomberos and pleneras in New York and Chicago. So, you know, in Philly we have Familia Rojas and other groups that are trying to maintain and uphold this tradition. And we've been going at it for about 6 years as a group, and I've been teaching for about 9 to 10 years, 14 in total playing. So yeah, it's been an awesome opportunity. So we're gonna jam out. We have a little plena. We're gonna play a medley of different plena songs for you guys. We're gonna play the rhythms, and then we're gonna get into the bomba, because the bomba is another style of music that comes from the island. It's actually a lot more older than the plena that we're gonna play. So for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this and be a part of it. So that's how I met Gabby from Taller Puerto Riqueño too. So
Nice.
so I can't wait. The floor is yours.
Gracias, thank you. So I'm happy to I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to see everybody. You know, I'm happy to enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy. Por favor, cantar, baila con nosotros. If you jam, you feeling this music, you know, definitely dance to it, man. Sing to it, feel it. You can also check us out on our website, Los Bomberos de la Calle. You can go to www.phillybombapplena.com. You will see all the different photos that we have there of all the events that we've been to, upcoming classes that are going to be coming up, and things like that, right? We're just trying to preserve and educate everyone on this beautiful culture from Puerto Rico, which is bomba en plena. So if there's any questions afterwards, you know, if anybody wants to interact a little bit and curious about a certain specific thing, definitely we'll be able to entertain that. So here we go. Without further ado, a little bit of plena, a little medley of plena, okay? These are panderos de plena. Here we go, everybody. Ready? How's that sound? That sound's coming in okay for you guys? Awesome. Here we go. This is a song just about staying positive and enjoying life. Here we go. Vive tu vida contento, así vivida muy bien. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Vive tu vida contento, así vivida muy bien. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Enamórate y baila y búscate su sostén. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Vive tu vida así vivirá muy bien. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Échate palo y vacilar y no importa con quién. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Vive tu vida contento, así vivirá muy bien. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Date gusto en esta vida y busca siempre el vaivén. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Vive tu vida contento, así vivirá muy bien. Que si te apuras te mueres, si no te apuras también. Ajá. Lena sabroso. I'm pretty sure some of you have heard of the coqui, right? The coqui. I know a lot of you could probably make that sound a lot better than me. Here we go. Soy como el coqui de la tierra mía, que canta de noche y duerme de día, que canta de noche y duerme de día. Soy como el coqui de la tierra mía, que canta de noche y duerme de día, que canta de noche y duerme de día. So that's talking about the coqui singing all through the night and sleeping in the day. That's why you will hear those sounds in Puerto Rico en la noche. Así. Here's a couple more medley canciones para ustedes. Un par de coro. Ajá. Mírala, qué linda viene. Mírala, qué linda va. La compasa de los bomberos que no dan un paso atrás. Mírala, qué linda viene, oye, mírala, qué linda va. La compasa de los bomberos que no dan un paso atrás. I'm pretty sure we heard another one of Vejigante, one character we heard about in Puerto Rico. Los Vejigantes, ajá, de Loíza de Ponce. Uy. Toco, 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 toco. Ay, toco, 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 toco. Pucutá, pucutá. Pucutá, pucutá. Vamos muchachos pa' la marina. Vamos muchachos pa' Malecón a comer pan y salmón. Pucutá, pucutá. Pucutá, pucutá. Larie, larie. Lari, lari, lari. Lari, 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 lari. Lari, 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 oh. Ajá. Mañana por la mañana llena tu casa de flores. Es seguro de visitar a mi gente no dolores. Mañana por la mañana llena tu casa de flores. Es seguro de visitar, oye, a mi gente no dolores. Eso es. Un, dos, tres, cuatro, fa. So that was a bit of different canciones or coros, songs played, you can say, like different medley of plenas, different canciones. Now these, again, if you guys see this, very similar to the tambourines, you guys can show them, but there are 3 different sizes and each one plays a different sound. These are panderos, okay? Some people say panderetas, but we don't have the chimes. These are used with ghost skin, and this is the largest one, okay? Seguidon or bajo, okay? And it's just the bass. It's the largest one. It just plays the bass as if you were walking every day. Boom, boom, boom. If you walk faster, right? That's gonna go a little bit quicker. The punteador plays Isaiah. It's over here. It's my kids. Isaiah has the punteador. Isaiah, play the punteador so they can hear. See. Just a simple doom 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 doom. I see. And then Sean has the requinto or quinto. This is the one that gets everybody moving. This requinto or quinto does a lot of solos and different cuts and sounds. You know. So Sean, go ahead. I'll let you do your thing real quick, man. Okay, and then all together, you know, you hear the bajo coming in, the punteador. Un, dos, tres, cuatro, five. I see. And then we don't want to forget about the guido or guicharo, right? That there's only 3 of us here at the time, so we're making the best that we can. But definitely, we're really excited and hoping everybody enjoyed this portion of our music called plena, okay? Plena. This is traditional music that we just don't play for anything. You hear it in the carnaval. You hear it during the holiday, during the parrandas, right? During the holiday time, the comparsa, you know, during the festivals. You hear this. And again, it was known back in the day as an instrumental newspaper, right? It was a way to spread the news around the town, to stand your ground, right? When you had something to preach or speak or send a message, right, to people out there. Due to the fact, right, we didn't have TVs, we didn't have newspapers, it wasn't that easy back in the day to move things the way they are now. So we're going to go ahead a little bit into the bomba. Sinta, do you have any questions? Or I don't know if you see the audience or if this is just a program straight through. I don't know if anybody's interested in or has any questions on what we've been doing, or we'll roll right into the next session of the bomba that we're going to show everybody.
I don't really have any questions, but I want to just give a shout out to Isaiah and Sean for doing this. I know sometimes for kids it's really hard to learn something cultural just because you're living somewhere else. I know when I'm teaching my kids, that's just how it is. So, you know, I want to give you guys a shout out for that. So that's super awesome. I'm really loving the drums. And those are the kind of things that in traditional Indonesian dance, we also do that. So I'm just excited to see.
Excellent. Gracias. Definitely. You know, they've been playing, I think Isaiah probably since he was about 3 years old. Isaiah's over here. And then Sean, he's been playing about 3 or 4, give or take. And Zay still needs, he's been doing an awesome job, and he's just a little tiny bit more work, and he's right there. But Sean goes with us to a lot of the events, performances, the bigger performances that we have. My daughter, she's working there. We're trying to get her into a little dancer. You know, we're practicing because bomba is just, in this musical bomba that we're going to show you, right? It's just not the drums. The dance tells a story. And the drummers relate that story through the rhythms that they play, because we have 2 basic rhythms that are being played, or what we would call the buleadores or buleo. There's always one guy that keeps that basic rhythm. And then the other drummer, right, he's there expressing the story, whether it be in his head or whether a dancer comes and expresses a story through the dance movements, the hips, the shoulders, the body, the skirt, the bufanda, right, the scarf, the head. So anything that she does in bomba, especially, you know, one of the main things, you have to greet the drummer or the subidor before you begin out of respect, and he, you know, will follow back. And then what happens is the dancer does something called a paseo, right, which moves around in this certain movement depending on what rhythm is played. And then the subidor, the lead drummer, is responsible for capturing that rhythm in the split second, because he has no clue, or whoever, if she is a subidor, right, he or she has no clue what's going to come up next or what that movement is going to be. If I'm going to go like this, the upper, right, these are higher tones, lower tones, I see, right, they change throughout depending on what that subidor sees, that message that dancer is expressing, you know. So it can be a really crazy thing. We have our happy dances, we have our angry dances, the sad dances, but these are all emotions, because our ancestors back in the day release this, whether it be in frustration, happiness, right, sadness. But those drummers told that story, so you can hear a lot of beautiful different sounds coming from the drum while the other drummers are playing the rhythm, especially seeing the movements and the feeling of the dancer expressing themselves in that circle where they're connecting with that subido drummer at that time. So again, this is bomba. These are drums we use in bomba. This is not conga drums, okay? So please don't confuse. These are barriles de bomba. This is the name. Why? Because we use barrels, old rum barrels, wine barrels. This is what they had back then, and this is what they used to create the barriles de bomba. We also use the maraca. Okay, if I had another person here, I would have them play the maraca with me, so we're limited. Pero the maraca that we have here is actually a maraca that is made from Tayel, if I say her name correctly, Kenyuati. Please forgive me if I didn't say that correctly. This is an higuera, okay? This is actually a fruit that is grown in Puerto Rico, and these are the maracas that the Taino Indians used back then, and they always make many other different elements with these. So again, such a big, beautiful culture, so many things to cover, so many things to show you guys, and this is why we do what we do out here in Philadelphia. Me, my kids, Lo Bombero, the other members, Jonathan, Flaco, right, Michael, everybody that's out here, and if we have an event, you know, if we don't have enough musicians, I give a call, and they're ready to go right by our side and to make it happen. So, you know, it's been a blessing and a pleasure to be able to show the youth and teach the youth, just seeing the young ones performing and dancing and singing and enjoying the time and just learning their culture. Oh, we miss bomba, we love bomba, you know, and even though they're still learning, they might dance, bomba is just that feeling within. So we always tell everybody, we give you the tools, but it's within you, right? You let yourself out, become free, feel, and this is what bomba is about. For sure. So without further ado, mi gente, I know I'm talking, blah, 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 blah. Pero we're about to jam out with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy la música, por favor. This is a bomba seca. Then we're going to go into a holandés, which we have been working on for you guys, and we'll take it from there. You ready? Wait. Wow. Bomba. Ajá. Ajá.
Woo!
Bomba.
Amazing! Everybody's
Eso,
loving you. Everybody's leaving
Gracias, gracias.
amazing comments, Tony. And all the kids, you guys, you boys are amazing. So I
Gracias,
see
gracias.
like all these amazing comments. You are somebody said that you're a very special man, honoring ancestors. I can feel the ancestor spirit. Like,
Definitely, definitely.
so that was amazing. So like I feel like now I'm gonna have to call you up to do some collaboration with the Indonesian dancers, man.
Oh man, that'll be cool. No, definitely, definitely for
That
sure.
would be
We're always
dope.
about, it's all about connecting too, right? Because when we think about bomba, we talk about lo africano, lo taino, right? We talk about the mix and blends of cultures. I mean, we've done connected with so many, people when it comes to this music, and there's variations of bomba throughout, Cuba and Haiti and all around, all around the Caribbean, like Caribe. There's many forms of bomba in their different twists, and it's all about bringing everyone, right, bringing everyone together in this time and expressing those feelings. So it's definitely, I know, with things the way they have been with the COVID and the arts not being supported, I know we're feeling it heavy. I know I'm planning on opening another business to support my art, which is really crazy. But we have to figure something out. We have to do
You
something,
have
and
to
I
let
can't
us
let.
know.
Yeah, I can't let the art go. So definitely, when the business opens up, it's gonna be something that everybody's gonna love. Hopefully by the end of the summer. I can't say nothing or speak nothing because it's still in the works, but it's something that's gonna be really good, and it's gonna support the teaching art of what we do, whether it be classes, whether it be bringing an artist from Puerto Rico and having somebody special out here, or Chicago or New York. We're all about connecting and collaborating, and whether it's us or whether it's us through another way, bringing
Yeah,
other members and
absolutely.
other forms of, and even opening it up to a more bigger cultural aspect. It's very, very important for everyone to share and to enjoy this during these times,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And I do believe that art can help the trauma healing. And this, I believe like this is what you're doing. And then for anybody's watching, this is why we need to support the art in Philadelphia. This is why, I mean, look at the kids. Like, how can we not support the art and then the kids have no access to art whatsoever? Like, this is an important work that we are all doing collectively to, continuing our culture, continuing our work, continuing our passion, right? I feel like just for existing, we are all making a political statement right now. So, Tony, how can we contact you? How can we learn more about bomba? How can we learn how to dance? Where do we contact you?
Well, you can definitely check out our Facebook page, Los Bomberos Together de la Calle, or you can go on www.phillybombaplena.com. I've been fixing the website, working on it here and there, and adjusting a few things. So, there's going to be new information and new things. I have some really cool things that are coming up within the summer, hopefully, depending on the whole thing with the COVID. We have timbale classes, conga classes, bongo, barrile, plena. We have a lot of cool things that is going to be coming up this summer. And, I'm really excited to not only bring in new people, but definitely the students that we've been working with for a while. And we're just ready to build. And whether it's just having students, or even, if you guys have a wedding, you're getting married, we have nosotros somos un grupo. We are a group. We have a small band, and we have the larger group, which we mix bomba, plena, and salsa, right? So depending on what you guys want, we do weddings, we do festivals, we do private parties, birthdays, we workshops in schools, educational workshops, so many amazing things that we try our best to preserve and share the beautiful culture and have everybody enjoy the time, right? At the same time, you're learning, but you're enjoying the time doing so, whether it's dancing, singing, we show you all these elements, and everybody has been having a wonderful, wonderful time with this, and it's definitely a need for this, but definitely the arts in general. We need it. We need it. It's definitely very important to the young ones working in the schools. And I mean, whether it's me one day, instead of us doing music, I'm drawing and the students are following me on Zoom. It's they need this.
Yeah, this
For
is, I mean,
sure, for
this is the
sure.
time to be creative. But anyways, thank you so much. I'm definitely going to
Definitely.
check you out. I'm definitely going to contact you. I think it's amazing, whatever, everything that you're doing. So thank you. I
Gracias.
think
Thank you, everybody.
you're all
Gracias. Be good, everyone. Take care. Again, www.phillybombapplena.com. Gracias a los bomberos de la calle. Uy.
Thank you. So
See you guys.
everybody, if you are following us, I know on social media there's Survey Monkey going around. So don't forget to fill out the Philadelphia Budget Priorities and Preference Survey. So I'm sorry, sometimes I talk too fast, but we're gonna get to the most important thing that we want to talk about. I think this is the second discussion that is happening. So this is the Philly budget special. So I think this is going to be amazing. Everybody, this is an important discussion that we should be listening to. And then follow us on social media, comment with your thoughts and ideas and feedback, everything. So without further ado, I'm going to give the floor to our amazing people that's going to be talking about the Philly City budget discussion. Take it away, everybody.
Thank you so much, Sinta. Oh my God, I was just dancing around with Tony's music. It was a really good warm up actually, because I was getting a little nervous about this presentation. I was just like, okay, let's get the energy out. So hi everyone, this is Asaki. I am part of Power Street Theater. I'm a resident artist, production manager, costume designer. I am joined by, do you want to introduce yourself, Casey? You're muted, boo. Classic.
Zoom nonsense starting already. Hi, I'm Casey Berner. I am an artist and scholar that's splitting my time between Philadelphia, where I'm an administrator in the city for the Wilma Theater, and New York City. I'm getting my PhD in theater and performance at the CUNY Graduate Center.
And Theo.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Theo Arapis. I am an associate professor of public administration at Villanova University, where my love in teaching and research is on public finance, budgeting, and statistics.
Awesome, awesome. I forgot to share my gender pronoun. I'm she, her. Casey is she, her, and Theo is he, him. I can see that. So, Casey was my friend for a long, long time. We did a show together years ago. And last year, when we were talking about how the arts and culture being not as funded as it should be, we are like, oh, can we talk about this for the digital rally? And Theo was our teacher in Villanova University. We went through the same program. And we were like, maybe Theo would like to join us to talk about this. And he was happily jumped on this crazy idea of breaking down the budget that was proposed last summer. So that's what we did last year. This year, we were going to do the same thing, but unfortunately, the city postponed the publishing of the budget until May 1st, so we cannot do that. So instead, this year, we're going to do a little recap of what we discussed last year. And then we are going to talk about how Philly has done in the fiscal year 2021. So how so far it's been like more than 6 months. And we are still in COVID crisis. So how the budget and the finance has been doing. And also since Casey is in New York and she's been doing a lot of researches about how the city of New York has been funding arts and culture and creative economy, because as we all know, New York is a huge cultural hub. And that's like one of the biggest draw for the tourist attraction. So we want to hear about that. And in the end, we want to talk about how much impact the creative economy has to the entire US economy. So that's the rundown. James, can you pull up our presentation, please? Thank you. Still dancing in my heart. Oh my God, I love this so much. All right, here we go. Theo, where did you get this art? This is beautiful.
This is Philadelphia art from the murals.
Oh, really?
Downtown. Yeah.
Where? Do you know?
I don't remember exactly the
yeah, if anyone
the street out there, but there have been as we're gonna see as well, later on in our talk, there has been a funding effort between the city and the mural arts program in an effort to promote the mask wearing and hygiene, right, that we need to take care for COVID-19. And this kind of like pieces have popped up in several places in the city to pass the message of taking care of ourselves and each other.
Yeah, if anyone in the audience know where it is, please let us know, because I would love to see it in person. So let's start. I believe the first presentation is the last year recap.
Sure. So when I was invited, right, last year I guess in June, not last year, I'm sorry, when I was invited in June to participate here in the Digital Rally for the arts, the focus was on, how can we find, right, funding from Philadelphia's budget and save the Office of Arts, Culture, and Creative Economy and help all the local community and the artists. So the presentation and my work, my research started from trying to assess, right, what are the expectations with COVID-19 that local governments have. At that point, COVID-19 was very new. Now I feel like we're all kind of like into it and experts. We know everything about it, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. So there was this survey done by the National League of Cities that covered more than 2,000 cities around the US and asked, what are the sentiments, the initial expectations in terms of the budget, the revenues and expenses that local governments have. And as you can see here, clearly the majority, like 9 out of 10 of the respondents indicated that they are expecting a budget shortfall, meaning revenues will be lower than expenses. And the problem, it was identified as we are actually expecting this deficit to be created because of like lower revenues coming in during COVID-19. So that being said, when I was asked again to participate in the rally here, and I appreciate reaching out to me, it's been so much fun being part of this important effort. But when I was asked again, I thought that, well, without Philly having a budget proposed yet, which is going to come in March, I believe, is when they propose the first draft of the budget. I thought that it would be interesting to follow back and see, now that we are into COVID-19 for like almost a year, how do things look like at the local level? Yeah, and from there, we're going to look at some information that I have gathered with the help of my super amazing and intelligent research assistant, Tara. Tara, if you are out there listening, thank you so much. You've been crucial to this talk, so I appreciate it. And don't forget, we have a meeting on Friday, right? 12:30. See ya. The nerdy professor came out, but yeah. So now we're gonna move on into seeing how things look like in actuality right now, what local governments are experiencing around the U.S. And from there, we're going to move on into Philadelphia, see how things look like in our community, in our government. And Casey is going to come in with more cool information, interesting information about New York. So in another survey that was recently done by the International City of Counties and Management Association, there were about 616 local governments were surveyed, with population anywhere from 2,500 people to all the way to above 1 million people. So Clearly, from what you can see here from the graph and the data, most respondents have indicated that their revenues have been, in fact, impacted. Okay, there's an impact. COVID-19 has definitely put a hole right into revenues, and now revenues underperform. Most of them, about 45%. You're good, James, on the slides. But most of them, about 45%, indicated that they have experienced a 10% decrease into their revenues. 1 out of 3, they see an increase between 11 to 20% less. And about 10%, 1 out of 10 local governments, 1 out of 10 American cities have seen more than 20% decline into their revenues. So clearly from that, right, we can see that for the most local governments out there, COVID-19 has been very, very impactful. When looking at the different type of revenues that have been, if you want, declined, it appears that most issues gather around income taxes, something that we have here in Philadelphia, right? We have the wage and earning tax, the sales taxes, as well as hotel tax and gas and fuel tax. And I think, in the environment of COVID-19, those make sense. People don't travel, so we don't use our cars, we don't commute. Taxes from gas are down. We are not really vacationing anymore, unfortunately. So hotel fees and hotel lodging taxes are down as well. Definitely cities that they make money from tourism, and Philadelphia is one of them. We have a very cultural, very historic city. People love to visit Philadelphia, right? So this is, definitely a big issue. But in addition to that, with any kind of recession, and economic uncertainty, when economic uncertainty rises, our behavior as consumers changes dramatically. That might be because of fear, right? We are afraid that maybe our economic situation soon will alter. It's not going to be what it used to be. So in that sense, we are trying to hold back our expenses and save some money, just create our little emergency or rainy day fund, as we call. So sales taxes, revenues from sales taxes are quite down as well. But most importantly, and I think this is the area that really hurts Philadelphia, we're going to see that later on as well, is the income taxes, the local income tax, wage tax. I was afraid about that as well in June when we had our talk. Unfortunately, wage taxes are very, very, as we call them in public finance, elastic, meaning that when economic performance, economic situations, economic conditions changes, then the tax underperforms. Mm-hmm. And in the context, right, of COVID-19, we have a lot of teleworking. People have lost jobs. Unfortunately, restaurants are, semi kind of like operating, most of them. So all that has really impacted how much Philadelphia is getting in from the wage tax. So we can move on into the next slide here. In the next slide, what we have is knowing that our revenues are impacted, right? We have as an organization, no matter if we are a government or a nonprofit, right, a theater or a museum or a private sector organization, we have to react. So then the conversation now leads us into thinking or assessing, if you want, the actions that local governments have taken to compensate or offset some of these revenue declines. And as you can see, almost more than 1 out of 2, 50%, let's round it down. So 50% of the government surveyed have put into action hiring freezes, meaning they do not hire any new people. Another about 28% of them, they have consolidated departments and consolidated responsibilities. That has also happened here in Philadelphia as well. Several departments and offices in June were consolidated, so we can gain in efficiency, become more effective, and save in costs. There haven't been any kind of efforts to hire new people and eliminate unfilled positions. Salary freezes, furloughs, everything comes into play. But one of the, I think, important parts here that we see into the data is that local governments have definitely put an effort to restrict or limit layoffs, pay cuts, reductions in benefits. As you can see, the percentages of local governments that they had to implement such very, very austere measures are very, very low. At the same time, we also look always into what kind of like capital projects we are undertaking during recessions. And to do so, first, we have to prioritize all our different sort of like, projects that we are taking as government, and see what we can, delay, postpone, or cancel. And from what you can see, the projects that they have least impacted are relevant to transportation infrastructure, hazard mitigation projects. An example could be levees or walls, seawalls, right, for floods. And then water and sewer infrastructure projects. These have been the areas where local governments have not really delayed or canceled. And I think those make sense, especially when it comes into water and sewer. I see a lot of work happening in the area that I live as well. Pretty much every couple of months, the roads are broken. When people are digging in to put new pipes, this really bugs my mind. It really blows my mind of why we can, figure it out and do it less often. But you understand that these kind of like projects on water, sewer are very important for public health. And it's important, I'd say, to upkeep with the infrastructure. But other kind of like projects, capital improvement projects, as you can see on the top of the list, such as public recreation, like parks, maintenance of like trails or generation of new trails and so on, all these have been very heavily impacted. So in the next slide, what I show you, and I think this is where things get quite interesting. And maybe, into the next slide, when we see it, it's almost, I feel like I hear the drums from Tony, like playing and lifting up our, sort of like anticipation. But what we see here, we see a little bit more details on all these different fiscal austerity or cutback management, as we call them, measures that I just showed you earlier. But we see that broken down per different departments. So we start with senior executives. So the senior executives would mean a township manager or an assistant to the township manager, like the CEOs, let's put it that way, of local governments. Then we have senior department staff that could include directors of, let's say, the budgeting office or the public works departments and so on. Then we have the more general sort of like departmental staff. And then finally, we have the special category of public safety, police, and fire. And what we see clearly here, and again, this is no pun intended, I'm not trying to throw oil into the fire here, but from what you can see in the areas that I have boxed in, you can see again that police and fire are quite protected from cuts. And according to this information and the survey that was done again by ICMA, it appears that most cuts have happened outside public safety departments.
Yeah, that's what was happening last year. The police force was the only one of the very few or only department that was getting an increase on the budget, while everything else was getting a budget decrease. And we are like, don't you have enough money? Like, why do you need that much money? And see what happened in throughout the year, that what the police has been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this really bugs my mind. This as well. It's very concerning. I mean, the reality is that public safety budgets, public safety departments consume most of a local government budget. For Philadelphia, we have a budget of about $4.5 billion. The public safety department, police and fire, consume about $1.3 billion out of it. And just to put things into perspective, right? The Philadelphia, the school district of Philadelphia, which educates about 186,000 students. It's the biggest school district here in Pennsylvania and one of the largest in the nation. And it gets support from the city, now out of the top of my head, about $275 million. And now we are talking about providing fair opportunities, right, to the underprivileged. We have been talking about lifting up, communities. And the only way to lift up communities is by investing into education.
Yes.
Okay, this is the solution. So when I see that we spend so much money into public safety, this is really, really blows my mind. It's very concerning and very puzzling. But again, this is not what the reality. This is a reality not only for Philadelphia, but for the majority of cities, no matter if it's small or big, around the U.S. Unfortunately, police and fire, they consume most of the budget. I was hoping that there would have been a change by now. There has been a change. We have to recognize that. There is a lot of things happening. The cities listen to the people. Philadelphia, particularly, I'm very, very, to this point, I am convinced that we have that Philadelphia has a city council that is very approachable, friendly, listens to the people and the demands. I attended yesterday. I watched the city council talk.
Awesome.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I kept out of this talk was of how approachable and friendly and fun and normal human beings the city council people are.
I know. I loved hearing about how they care about their own community, how they care about their own people, and they're willing to listen, which was amazing. Okay, then that's gonna energize us to all right, keep on raising our voices, keep on suggesting the innovative ideas that us creative people can generate. So it was great that they were able to join us yesterday.
Absolutely, it was so nice of them. I love the questions that the meeting started by asking the city council whether it was your dream to be a politician. That really cracked me up. There were some really funny answers. But again, what I got out of it is that they are normal people. They are approachable, they're friendly, they want to listen, they want to get involved. And I think they have listened as well. I mean, if you remember, before June, the Office of Arts and the Creative, the Office of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy was completely slashed. But after, the digital rally and, other people speaking about and expressing, their opinions and thoughts, we saved part of it. Part of it was saved. Okay.